Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like the lane is closed here, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of motorcycle sneak maneuver action. A little bit of slalom course for the morning. Not bad, not bad. Anyway, what I want to talk to you today about is this GoPro mounted on the front of my helmet. I get lots of comments and questions from you guys about the GoPro mounted on the front of an Airflite helmet, and I wanted to be able to give you guys the lowdown on how it attaches. So, as you can see, it's up here on front of the helmet, and it does a couple of cool things. Well, the one downfall to mounting it on the front of this airframe visor is the fact that, Airflite, the fact that I have to have the visor down-ish if I want to record, especially when riding off-road, and that can cause a problem with steaming up of my regular glasses, not the visor. So my regular glasses are very fog prone versus the shield on this helmet is very fog resistant. So even right now, sitting at that light right there, I had fog that started to show up on my actual glasses, and that is a bear. And I've used Scott No Fog Cloth, I've used a bunch of other things, but they just don't work really well. Here, check this out. I've been here for what, 2 seconds? Watch this. I can't see anything. Come on, dudes, clear off. Anyway, this here is the Inky graphic from the Icon Airflite lineup, and I have the RST Red Visor and spoiler. I don't know if you can see the spoiler back there today. But Icon this year is doing coordinating spoilers with visors. It's actually a neat concept. One more accessory to pick up when you get your helmet. This Inky Blue has a neat feature. The drop-down visor inside this helmet is a blue color, so it's the iridium blue. Let me show you. So if I pop this guy open, where's my drop-down? Boom! Look at that, iridium blue. Looks pretty cool. So for 2019, there's a couple different things that Icon did. They did the matching spoiler to the visor. They also did a visor peak. So if you ride this helmet off-road like I do, you can simply remove the face shield and put the visor peak on, and now you have more of an off-road style helmet. It's a really cool feature I like. I will be using that here in the near future. I'm just going to have to find a separate mount for the GoPro. Now that's another neat thing. I talked to Icon about a month ago and was like, dude, you really need to make one of these shields that allows that breath box area to be open. That way we can mount a GoPro down there. And he's like, haha, we got a couple different things for it. Number one, we've got your shield. So you're definitely going to have that shield that follows the line of the gasket on the helmet instead of coming all the way down to the bottom here. That's going to be really neat. So that's going to allow you to mount a GoPro down there to that bottom chin plate area and still be able to function the visor while the camera is still facing forward. That's going to be a really cool feature. Now, even better yet, they are coming out with a GoPro mount that's going to be integrated into this piece right here. That is what I'm waiting for. That will be a game changer for this Icon Airflite helmet. So you'll still have a nice iridium colored shield. You're going to have all the features and benefits of the Airflite helmet. You're just not going to have this really long piece that comes down to cover the mouthpiece. I think it's going to look trick. I really am looking forward to it. It seems a couple of the Parts Unlimited reps who sell this helmet into dealerships on a daily basis have made the same request numerous times. So thank you, Icon, for listening. I appreciate it. So in answer to all of your questions on how I mount my GoPro and wire up the mic into my Airflite helmet, here is the step-by-step installation.
Hey guys, Kyle Bradshaw here. I often get asked how I installed the GoPro on the front of my Airflite helmet. It wasn't easy. I did like 4 different locations on my original Airflite fader helmet, and I finally found a location that works for me. Now what I do is I install it right here on the very front of the helmet using a GoPro helmet mount. You really need to have the curved mount because the flat mount, if you take a look, there's way too much room on the side. It just doesn't stick well. Now this isn't enough by itself. I've tried Gorilla Glue, but that was pretty messy. So I've resorted to using zip ties. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stick this mount right here at the very bottom I like to be able to leave the first 4 vents open, that way I can still use those vents. But I want to make sure that this mount is completely vertical. I did mount one that was slightly crooked, and that made actually getting the GoPro to fit on there very difficult, because all the photos and videos I took, I just want to have like its cockeyed look to it. It was horrible. So I'm going to hold this for about 20 seconds. Make sure that that glue is attaching to the front of the visor here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's come in close. So if you can see right there where that gray tape is, you're going to notice that there's one spot that has a little bit of a gap. You can see a lot more of a gap on this side. What's going to happen here is we're only really going to get a good seal right down the center. Because of the shape of this visor, it's not going to allow us to get a really good seal all the way across. And that is what the zip ties are for. So now I'm going to slide this camera down into the mount here. Open this up a little bit. And I'm going to usually use 2 zip ties. I'm going to take the first zip tie. Going to come in through that hole there. So the first zip tie I'm putting on here, I want to go above this nut here. So that's going to take and capture the very front part of this, kind of coming across, kind of sandwiching in between that nut and this little fingered spot here. And that's going to allow me to have that first upper spot of connection. Okay. The second zip tie is going to go down here below this screw, and that's going to capture basically this nodule here in between the upper zip tie and the lower zip tie, both coming through the shield and around that center post. That's going to give me my optimum location here. Let me go ahead and cut those off. Now for my audio, I'm using a Sony microphone that's got wind deflectors on both sides, and I like to stick this wind deflector right here underneath this nose piece. So there's a really perfect spot underneath this nose piece that I can stick this mic. It actually works really, really well. So I'm going to set that in place, and I'm going to take a strip of gaff tape, Gorilla Tape, duct tape. Those are 3 of my favorite tapes to use for this particular mounting location. The reason I don't use electrical tape is it gets sticky and comes off pretty easy. So now I'm going to need to route this guy right here. This is my GoPro mic adapter. Let's put the helmet around. So this here goes on the outside of the helmet. It does not fit through the hole. I forgot about that. So I'm going to take this guy right here, which is going to be my microphone adapter. I'm going to stick that through the hole of the Airflite helmet. Now this is going to attach to this guy here, and I always like to put tape on my connections to make sure that they don't come apart. I've had bad experiences in the past of my audio connector here coming disconnected and leading to 0 audio at all inside the helmet, which is never a good thing. So I usually put one that goes all the way over the top. That's going to keep this from backing out. And then I take a second piece and I go around. That's going to do 2 things. It's going to make it water resistant, it's going to make it dust resistant, and it's going to keep them from twisting or coming apart. So I'm now going to pull this connection. It's right here to the base of the visor. And now I'm going to take another small piece of tape. And bring this wire over. Now none of this tape is visible on the inside of the shield because the shield covers the spot down here where it exists. Now I'm going to take thin strips of tape and I'm going to run this wire up the visor and down this direction right here. I'm actually going to pop off this side plate and route it. You can see where I had my previous visor routed. So I'm going to lay this cable right down the center of my tape so it looks something like this. So now I'm covering this wire with gaff tape in order to protect that wire from being pinched from the visor when it comes down. Now I'm going to go up over the top. I'm going to wind up this cable because we don't need it. And now I'm going to tuck this extra cable back behind the cheek pad here. Now with that wire fully installed, oops, I need to go ahead and install my side plate here. Perfect. Now my shield's going to go all the way up and all the way down without issue. I'm going to bring my GoPro adapter over, plug in just like so. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that microphone's just tucked right in underneath this lip. That makes a really good wind dam, if you will. So all that wind just goes straight up and over, doesn't affect the quality.
Now, as far as the audio that I get inside this helmet, I really like the way it turns out. The way that this microphone is attached back behind the nose piece allows it to be hidden from the wind, which is really great. If I'm doing an on-site shoot and I need to raise my shield, I simply raise it up like this, and I take my GoPro and I angle it down, and I get a really good, almost like a POV shot down on what I'm recording. Anyhow, I'm Kyle. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. That is how I mount a GoPro to the front of my Icon Airflite helmet. If you liked what you saw today, give me a thumbs up. If you want more action like this to come directly to your inbox, hit that subscribe button, and more importantly, the notification bell, so you can be notified when a new video is released. I'm Kyle. Until next time, take care and ride safe out there. Shoo.